Glad you're here, Boone.
Glad to be here, Stephen.
Yeah.
I love this place. Western Edge. What's up, y'all?
Yeah.
We got some liveliness. I love it.
It's going to be a good night in Fredericksburg.
I think so. Hey, can I tell y'all real quick, there's some flowers up here in the front of the stage, and they're from my garden, but I felt like if they can inspire anybody and you want to grab a flower, please do that, okay? That's what they're there for. Just if there's any bugs in there, I'm sorry, okay? I don't wash them off or anything.
They're Vanderpool bugs.
Yeah,
eh?
the Vanderpool bugs, so they're special. But please take them. Take one, and I hope tomorrow you wake up and it inspires you more. That's what they're all about.
Now, that guy knows how to get to an audience. And
spreading butter on the bread. That's what they say. Y'all just be easy on me tonight, okay? No throwing tomatoes. That's it. No.
Well, folks, I want to welcome y'all in officially to Western Edge Wednesday night. This is the Songwriter Spotlight Series. My name's Stephen K. Morris. I'm a fortunate musician, and every week I feel even more fortunate that I get to hang out with other great songwriters and talk shop with them for a while. We're gonna trade songs. Boone here, you've already been listening to. Mr. Boone Holding is in the house from Vanderpool, Texas.
Hello, everybody.
Which is Bandera County. He said if you say that, people kind of know the general area.
Yeah, that's right. It's like I think Vanderpool's population of 11, and I've got 6, so we're over 50%.
You got a full house.
Thank you very
then.
much, man.
Thanks, Joe.
Bye-bye, y'all. Have
That's
a good
Mr.
night.
Joe Remini Bree Bagwell in the house. Joe is one of our sponsors with the Texas Silver Rush right across the street. So thanks for being here, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
And Bree's a fantastic songwriter and entertainer.
Yeah,
We'll have to get her up here sometime and bring her in and keep her, at least for a couple hours. Well, folks, this is all about the songwriter, the road they've traveled, where they've been, and where they're going. And I want to introduce Mr. Boone Holding. I think we'll just let him kick us off with a song so you know what he's bringing to the table tonight.
All right.
Maybe a story, too.
Yeah, I love it. I'll introduce this song right here. This song, I grew up in South Texas, and I did a lot of work like with ranchers and farmers when I got into my late teens and got ready to fail out of college. And I was lucky enough to grow up around great, honorable people, and they taught me a lot about just, self-sustainability and growing food and things like that. Well, I moved up to Santa Fe, New Mexico with my wife, and up there I got lucky enough to work with a lot of the local farmers up there. And the only difference was the farmers up there had like bare feet, and they'd wear bandanas, and they'd kind of roll their pants up halfway. And the ones down here, they wear cowboy boots and starched jeans and cowboy hats. But really, inside of them, I noticed there was not really much difference between them. And so years and years after trying to get better at playing the guitar and writing songs, I actually came back to Texas and I wrote this song, okay? A white Appaloosa, I named him Kai. My first glimpse of freedom as I cut my ties. I'd follow the stars and I trusted the sky. I left this old cow town for a peace-loving high. Hi, y'all, I'm confused. It ain't confusing to see. I'm back in a saddle. I've been hugging on some trees, but I would die on my feet before I'd live on my knees. That's the hippie, half the cowboy in me. I came across this commune whose food was all grown on their land by their hands, all on their own. It was some of the most cowboy ways that I'd ever been shown. And it came from these hippies who lived all alone. And now I've seen both sides, and soon home I'll be. Bareback, not a saddle, I'm still hugging on trees. But I would die on my feet before I'd live on my knees. That's the hippie, half the cowboy in me. And whether redneck or long hair, we don't trust the tax man. Starch shirt or tie-dye, We cherish the backlands and the hard way. This ain't hard to see. Look at me, I'm back in a saddle after hugging on trees. But I would die on my feet, y'all, before I'd live on my knees. That's the hippie hat, the cowboy in me, and I hope some things never change.
All right.
Yeah, that song is called The Hippie Cowboy. I like to call it, I call it that for just to be easy with the listener, but I like to call it another Texas songwriter story because really that's all it is, man,
That is the road we travel on and carry stories around, and I'm glad you brought them to The Outsider tonight, Boone.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, man. I love it. I love the show.
Nice, cool song to start up with, and I think we all feel that, at least us musicians. You kind of got the spirit of a gypsy or a hippie, and
that's why.
And then we grow up in our areas that dictate that you are around the farm or the ranch.
That's right. So many people in this business, like when they go home, they have gardens and do that.
Yeah.
They're just connected with nature. A lot of them, do outdoor stuff. So
yeah. We were talking before the show, and the garden has been something in common we have. You spend a lot of time growing your vegetables in the garden, and during the COVID stay-at-home days, it really kind of saved me, It gave me something to get up and go do. Otherwise, I might have just been sitting in the dark all day.
Yeah, wishing you were playing songs. Maybe sitting in the dark playing songs.
Yeah, that's not bad either.
No, that's not at all.
Get some sunshine.
Yeah, I've grown. We've kind of had like a homestead type farm since we've been like as young as we could be. My wife and I, we've milked cows and goats and had all types of animals, and it's just what speaks to us. But I also have learned over the years to really not be afraid to put that into my music, because that's who I am. And if it comes off like, not mainstream or something, that's okay. But it's just important that, you just speak your truth, whatever that is, so that's what comes out. You'll hear it in a lot of the songs that I write. I
totally agree with that method and that approach. And, the earliest advice we get around other songwriters when we're trying to inch into this, business. I don't even like to use the word business because sometimes it's just cathartic. But the best and earliest advice you always get is write what you know.
Yep, that's right.
I think that's been said from generations. So it's cool to hear you say that's what you like doing.
Well, yeah, and then you end up being. Someone told me this. They're like, when I was 25, they're like, remember what you're writing today, and think if people actually listen to what you're writing, and then you end up being 45, 50 one day, and people still wanting to hear those songs. Can they transfer over to a 50-year-old man singing those same songs? And you really kind of got to think about who you are and really, what are the best characteristics about you and what you do, and try to bring them out. Because, it's not that it worries me, but I definitely think about that. Is I don't want to be singing stuff that I just wrote for a good hook, or to try to get on a radio single or something more that just came from my heart. Because over time, people will either like it or they won't like it. But you don't ever have to, for me, it just can't. I want to sell myself short, If
you keep identifying with it over the years, you'll still play it. I
guess. And hopefully I still have a garden when I'm older. I'm hoping.
That'll keep you getting older.
That's right.
Not making you older, but it'll keep you healthy as you get older, I think.
Yeah.
So.
What's your favorite thing to grow?
Black-eyed peas, probably.
Yeah.
Actually, onions. I have a terrible story about my onions this year, though.
Uh-oh.
I left them in the sun too long.
Dang, man.
It caught up on me.
What do you mean, in the field, like in the ground?
Well, I pulled them, and I was letting them dry, and it just got hotter while I was out working away from the house, and I lost a few of them. So I still had a good crop, but, they don't do too well in the heat.
Yeah, and black-eyed peas grow right through the heat, though. So
they
fun.
do.
Yeah.
They're going good, and strangely enough, I like those little things. And, they're a really mixed vegetable. That's kind of a pun in itself, but people either love them or they can't stand black-eyed peas, it seems.
Yeah, they are good luck around New Year's, though, so everybody can use at least a few, right?
There you go.
Yeah, but I love them, man. I've just grown to love everything out of the garden, really.
Yeah.
I've just doing it for long enough now. Okra's not my favorite, but I'll eat anything.
I like growing it. I like frying it.
Yeah, that's right. Fried okra is the best, man.
Yeah.
But canning it, you can can okra as well. But
do you get into the canning and the further processing?
A little bit. This year more because I've not been playing as much and
more time.
So I've been doing I have these Boston pickling cucumbers that I've been pickling a lot
Nice.
and just doing stuff like that. I process zucchini and freeze it. And just so we can make bread or whatever
that's
throughout
what
the year.
we've been doing too.
Yeah, so
it's nice to see the refrigerator get full. So.
Yeah, especially during times like this, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is when things like this happen, you feel like it's necessary to have this, but really it's not any more necessary than it was last year. It's always good if you can help sustain yourself as much as you can.
Yeah, folks just had more time to think about it this year.
That's right.
Anyway,
That's
well,
right.
Boone, if you've got another song in you,
man,
I'd
I
love to hear
definitely
you
do.
carry us down the road a ways and play another tune.
All right, well, we talked about Ty Phelps, a mutual friend.
Yeah.
We did a songwriting competition here back in the early part of this year, and it feels like it was 5 years ago, oddly enough, but it was just back in January, and I didn't really make it on to the next phase of the competition, but then at the end of it, they said they like to have a wild card, in case, somebody that they like, that they want to kind of see go to the next round, and they don't have enough space, they have this wild card. And so Ty called me and told me that I got the wild card, and I could come over to Lindale and play over there and kind of keep on going in the competition. And so I took this over, and I didn't get picked again. So I about 2 weeks after the competition, I called Ty and told him that I set a record for his competition, that I was the first person to lose twice. I felt like, but I got this song out of it, man. And I give Ty Phelps songwriting credits on this because if he didn't come up with that phrase, the wild card, I would have never had this song. It sure looks like something up your sleeve. It sure seems like you have something up your sleeve. It sure seems like you know something I don't know. It sure seems like you know something I don't know. Oh, wild card. Living free of cost, and when times get hard, you know all's not lost, 'cause you got that wild card. Hey, you never know when that wild card is gonna come to show. Well, just when it feels like you have nothing left to show, just when it seems like there is nothing left to show, you come back with something else to prove. Hey, you come back with nothing left to lose. Hey, Jerry, it's the wild card. Living free of cost, and when times get hard, y'all, you know all's not lost. Why? 'Cause we got that wild card. Hey, you never know when that wild card is gonna come to show. I'm singing about the wild card. Yeah, when that wild card, it comes to show. Yeah, I love this wild card.
Nice. That was Mr. Boone Holding, y'all.
I think we all got that wild card deep down inside, and in hard times you got to play it. So that's my story on that one.
That's Boone Holding. He's our guest tonight on The Outsider. We appreciate the listeners that are right here at Western Edge Cellars and also on KFan 107.9 FM and TexasRebelRadio.com. You can join us any Wednesday night at Western Edge, 6:30 to 9 o'clock, and see our songwriter guest and hang out and hear a little bit about their life and their songs. So, Boone, you mentioning K-Fan and Jerry, you were yelling out to Jerry Sotelo there. He's always causing trouble in the back.
Man, he's a great one, though.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But you have a little history with K-Fan, too. You've been in those studios. And
Yep, man. K-Fan gave me I look back in hindsight, you know, man, it was like a huge step for me, you know, because I was young and loved to play music and loved to write songs, and I had been playing and doing a little bit of like internet radio and stuff already, but then I met Jason and Andy at the time, Andy Heflin at the time, and he was the manager there as well, and you know, I just met them oddly just one day, some random way, and they gave me a chance to run a show called the Texas Music Hour, and I even did some DJ work for them, but it was great, man, and it introduced me into a lot of not just the music of the state of Texas, but just kind of like you said, like the business or just knowing that you can be something, you know,
right.
And not just have to be buried. And I lived in Medina at the time on a farm, and I mean, it's hard to get any type of traction, you know, and so they really were my first push in getting any traction and doing this business at all, really, you know.
Part of the music world there.
Yeah, but Jerry used to make me laugh like 3 o'clock in the morning. So.
He's got the best one-liners.
Man, he's a hard worker too.
So you were
and Tom Carnes too. I knew
Tom's
Tom. I love his
house.
shows, and he's great, man. Great radio guy. And these, you know, K-Fan to me, and again, and I've learned a lot more over the years, but I mean, man, they're like, it's hard. First of all, it's hard to run a station, you know, especially this day and age. And there's already so much work that goes into it. But I mean, man, they really are about the musician, you know, like they'll play local stuff.
Well, it's FM, like you say, is kind of a dying breed, and to find a station that still selects their own music, and the DJs are putting together programs.
And the library.
That's a great thing.
Have you been in there and seen the library?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, magnificent, man. It's crazy.
I daydream every time I'm in there and look at all the vinyl that's still around in the K-Fan station and the CDs. So.
I mean, it's like an old museum, really.
It
is,
is,
in some ways for Texas music, just all music, but a lot of independent artists, you know, a lot of that stuff going on and going through there. And no, I'm a huge fan of what they do. And again, I you know, I love writing songs, and I really want to, you know, do that and be out and playing, and I love that side of it. I get to be home more, but man, I have a massive respect for people who do radio, because it's a hard job. Really, there's a lot of work that goes into it.
I admire the guys that keep that going every day too.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
You know, I have my little 1 hour here that I get to put on, but we put it on right here in the environment we're used to, playing for people. So it's a little different than the guys that check in. Especially those early hours, like Jerry checks in. So
doing it, man, just working, just you know. And he knows all realms of the business too. You know, like when I was there, I just like did a show and did some DJing. I didn't, you know. I mean, there's that's like a little piece of the circumference of the circle. You know, there's a whole lot of things that have to go on, right? But a lot
of moving parts.
This is cool though, that there's a live crowd here too, and a live environment.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's interesting. I like it. I've never done anything like it before, so it's cool, man.
So Boone, did you have any music history in your family before you?
No, not really at all. Some like a little bit distant family, like my grandma's sisters. They do music and stuff like that, and they play piano. And I wasn't ever really around it, but my mom has always liked writing and poetry. So from as old as I can remember, I was been writing poetry.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom and I like writing stuff back and forth when I was really young. And then as I like got like a little bit more troubled and older, like through school, I would always like, all of my binders were just filled up with writing. And those were the first signs of me doing it. And then when my wife got pregnant with my son, she just went ahead and bought me a guitar when I was 20 years old, like almost 21, in between 20 and 20 somewhere, and 20 and 21. And she bought me this old Ibanez for like $199, this little small body blue guitar. And like I, worked at ranches and went to Santa Fe with it and just tried to get better and better and better. Right. And all that poetry came back to life within the guitar. So I'm way behind from the music side of it, but the storytelling part and writing songs that mean something, that's really my passion. I'd say like that's like my...
very cool. You know, a lot of times I think it's the reverse order of when the songwriting starts. It's usually, a lot of times it seems to be the instrument that comes first.
Yeah.
But for you, it seems to be the opposite.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, the other side of that, too, is like I've really grown fond of the instrument.
Right.
And we got a piano recently, and I've been playing
nice.
that a lot. So, you know, I do appreciate it. And like when I first started playing, I was always just trying to write my own stuff. And then as years went on, I realized how important it is to find songs that you like to play and learn the structures and learn what you're doing, you know. What do they say? Know the rules before you try and break the rules, you know, type of thing.
Yeah, that's it. Learn the loose parameters and then get outside the lines.
There you go,
know, so.
you know.
Well, Boone, if you're ready, I'd love to hear
I'm ready,
another one, man.
I'm going to do this one right here, man. And this is, again, I'll try to stick to the theme. This song I wrote, I think I wrote this song. I probably started this song about the time I worked at K-Fan. And then I was actually in the garden when this is a true story. Let's just put it that way. Here I was working on a family farm. I was in the garden, there was something on my arm. I looked down and what did I see? A little old bumblebee. I said, "Hey, bee, how you doing today?" But bees don't talk, so there's nothing he would say. I thought it'd be cool to kind of pet the little thing, but he didn't. He said, "Sting, man, life's little lessons fly around. Life's little lessons land. Life's little lessons knock you down and teach you how to stand." They said, "Boone, all you gotta do is just let them. They'll try and not regret them. All you gotta do is just let them come on, 'cause life's little lessons gonna come on any damn way." Well, I wanna push my problems out of reach. I thought it'd work if I headed to the beach, so I did. I saw the jetty and walked to the end, and there was a brown pelican. He was sitting on a rock, and he let me up close. Here I'd come for nature, and I was getting me a dose, and kneeled to snap a picture, and I knew it was a trap. When I kneeled in a big pile of pelican crap, do life's little lessons fly around. Life's little lessons land. Life's little lessons knock you down and teach you how to stay on top. All you gotta do is just let them, Tom. All you gotta do is not regret them. All you gotta do is just let them come on, 'cause life's little lessons land. I said, life's little lessons, girl. Life's little lessons, boy. Life's little lessons, woman. Life's little lessons, man. Okay. Here I was working on a family farm. I was in the garden, there was something on my arm, and I looked down and what did I see? A little old bumblebee.
Very nice.
I got stung. Let's just put it that way. No. Yeah. So now we'll go out and we'll check the cucumbers. I'll play that song. We'll check the cucumbers, and my kids don't want to get anywhere near the flowers
Because of that song?
Because of the bees. Yeah, they think they're going to get stung.
You know, that's one of the few things in life that when it first happens to you, you remember it the rest of your life.
Yeah,
you kind of remember the first bee sting, like
right.
other things.
Right.
That
The
are
red
first.
flag, man. Yeah. The old red flag. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great song. You do a lot of songs in kind of the talking blues style, and a little bit in that pattern, and I like your storytelling in these songs.
Yeah, I've never really dissected what I do too much, but just judging from what I do see and what people tell me, I feel like that my writing's probably a little bit more direct rather than like, you know, seeing a character and painting that picture,
right.
which I've done some of. But it's more or less like direct storytelling, right. Like things that have maybe happened or that I thought would be funny, so
right.
That's kind of one way. But then again, I mean, like my influences have been very wide too. So that's probably why. Like back to that poetry thing,
Right. And with your lifestyle in farming and ranching, you've moved around a lot. You've probably had a lot of characters kind of give you some guidance on the way that,
definitely.
that make you think of.
There really are some characters within the stories, even though it may seem like it's like an introspective thing. It's not.
I'm sure you're thinking back to different people
definitely,
that you've been around.
Definitely,
so, as we do. Well, Boone, if you don't mind, I'll throw one in, and
come on,
I think I've got the perfect one to kind of fit in the song selection that you have tonight. I think you'll like the humor in it a bit, and this song is one that I was inspired by my mother as I was a kid and worried too much. I'm going to play this one too and send it out to Miss Ida Sotelo because she asked for it a while back and I don't think I got to it. But it does happen to fit the set list today, it seems. So this song's full of those wise sayings that our folks have for us as we're kids and young people. Well, tell me how the cow ate the cabbage, pull the wool over my eyes. Can you carry your own baggage? Do all your views make me wise? Easy as snapping peas, don't make a hill of beans. It's small potatoes, it's small potatoes. Now worrywarts make mounds of molehills. A pessimist cup has never been filled. And old neighbor Jones, he's always had enough. I'm so tired of this keeping up. I got a cat by the tail, I gotta fill my own pail. It's small potatoes, it's small potatoes. Now that's easy to sing along to when you're having dinner out there. This song, Boone, is so easy to sing along to. Even an Aggie can do it. But you know, we don't pick on those Aggies. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't have Texas A&M mild jalapenos growing in our gardens. Amen. She's a walking habit of the Dust Bowl days. Gert strips of dollars at the 5 and dime. Buries all her problems back of the garden and only pays interest on borrowed time. Turns sow's ears to purses of silk. Never sits crying over spilled milk. It's small potatoes, it's small potatoes. Well, in a glass house, you shouldn't throw stones. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Just the pot, call the kettle black. It's 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Make a right turn, you got it made. When you get lemons, make lemonade. It's small potatoes, it's small potatoes. You know, when I first sang this to my friends, Boone, this Yankee friend of mine said, "Stephen, they're not small potatoes, they're tiny tubers." Well, I thought that was a little guy floating down the river. The second time I sang this song, this guitar player who knew all his chords, he said, "Stephen, they're not small potatoes, they're diminutive spuds. It's small potatoes, it's small potatoes." It don't matter how you say it, just say it. If you're having a bad day, it'll put a smile on your face. It's small potatoes, it's small potatoes. Now Ida's told me in Spanish is papitas. And she's shaking her head right because I finally got it right. In French, I do believe it's French fries. Or maybe petite pomme. But Boone, we're right here in this German community. You know, you hadn't heard the true language of love till you heard a little bit of German roll off the tongue. Oh man, small potatoes in German. Kleinen Kartoffel.
Flows nicely.
It's small potatoes, it's small potatoes. Well, another day and barely a dollar, a penny saved is a penny earned. I keep my nose to the grindstone, singing cliches about lessons learned. When you're by yourself, you're never alone. Is the grass greener on the other side? All I know is it's small potatoes. It's small potatoes. Small potatoes, y'all.
Woo! It's a great song, man. I love
thank you,
that.
Boone. I appreciate you letting me jump in.
How old is that song?
That song's one of the older ones I have. It's probably, I don't know, 18 years old, it seems like.
Yeah. So when did you get started in music?
Well, I started when I was about 20. I was in college, and I needed something to ruin my college career.
And not at A&M. I guess you weren't an Aggie.
No, I wasn't an Aggie, and I really don't mind the Aggies. I just like to pick on them during that song.
You have to, man. I could see it, yeah. So what school did you go to?
I went to Midwestern State up in Wichita Falls,
Very
but
good.
I only made about 3 semesters. I spent a bunch of money to quit.
Yeah, man. Drank a little bit, though. Did you learn how to drink?
Yeah, they teach you that. There's certain classes you can get in. I guess you've been there, too, and understand that.
I've been there. Yeah, it was a slippery slope there in college, man. You know, you get out there on your own, and the availability of everything's just there, and there it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get past that first year, they've said it's easy, but I didn't make it.
I got more and more into guitars and needing to work for guitars and things like that.
Yeah,
in
it's
life.
a good thing.
So where did you go?
I went to Shriner, actually, in Kerrville. And I met my wife there. My wife is from Ohio and Philadelphia, and she followed her mom down to Kerrville. And we met there in college. And, yeah, man, I went, and I always played baseball. I loved team sports, played football and baseball throughout high school and into college. And then, you know, the worst came out in college. I learned some hard lessons, but in college at Shriner, I don't know who knows about a lady named Kathleen Hudson.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you know Kathleen.
Yeah.
But she was like there, and she was I was the reason I failed, but she was the wall I hit, you know, and she taught me a lot about, you know, I'd go to her coffee houses throughout the process and saw the names on the backdrop of all the Texas music artists. And man, that was really my first like glimpse of like, man, I want to do that. You know, I'd really like to do that. That's why my wife ended up buying me a guitar. And Kathleen's just been like a great friend to me ever since.
Kathleen's one of the treasured music historians here in the Hill Country, and the things she's done around the music world is amazing. And in the college and outside of it, around Kerrville, the Folk Fest, and she's a great person to hang around and take notes.
Man, she's done so much. I mean, she just goes and goes and goes. It's unbelievable, really. And we were saying it before. She's definitely one of the OGs of the game. You know,
That's right.
She has done so much, and she does the Texas Heritage Music Days out there at Shriner too in September's or October's usually, whenever it is. And I've been to several of those, and she was, but back to that, you know, that was kind of going to school like you know, it like introduced me. There was a guy named Wes Creech. I don't even know what happened to Wes. You know, I don't think he plays or anything anymore, but he used to play at all the parties, and he was on the baseball team, and he would get his guitar out and play like Cross Canadian Ragweed and Randy Rogers songs. And I always thought like that was really cool. Another introduction right there. But it's like you, man. I got my degree in music. It just took a long time to get, you know.
Did you? Yeah, well,
still working on it. Like, I'm saying on the road. Like, I guess I got my life degree in music.
There you go.
I just wanted to do that. I felt like I fit in that, and you know, I could bring something a little different to it. So,
well, I think you fit, and I'm glad you're here tonight.
Yeah,
Can we hear some more music?
Absolutely,
from you?
man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think which one to do. I'll do this one.
Put you on the spot quick there.
Oh, no, I love it. I do. I try to be at least as prepared as I can be, but sometimes that falls off the rails,
if
too.
you're a baseball player, just, you know, watch for the fastball.
That's right, man, and be prepared for the curve, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, so this song right here, I was inspired to write this song for a lot of people that I worked with throughout the years, whom probably will never retire due to financial reasons, but a lot of them, I think if they could retire, they probably wouldn't anyways. So it's all good. It's some life he's living, working this hard, with not much that he has to show. A bank account painted red like his fresh cuts and scars. they wear on a decent man's soul. A man makes $1, but living takes 2. Cutting lumber, building houses on some other crew. I was shrimping in a gulf filled of oil and blue. A man makes $1, y'all, but living takes 2. For real, been up on a hillside sawing down trees, catching the best of those views. But stress, it'll kill you, and now this man sees why we should turn off the news and toss away those hardships and don't chase the cash, but rather do more things that you love. He will never let another small moment go past without thanking the heavens above. A man makes $1, but living takes 2. So why in this world does he put himself through a rat race that'll never be honest nor true? If a man makes $1 and living takes 2, I might just be screwed, who knows? Working runs deep in his veins, and his kids have been growing up quick. They were right. His holes have some jeans, his shirt's greased with stains. There's 3 days a year he can call in sick, and he's never told his wife nearly enough just how hard she works every day. But hey, this morning he left her a note by some stuff with a few things that he felt like he just needs to say. Baby, man makes $1, but living takes 2. And I made a fortune the day I met you. When the pain gets heavy, you carry me through. A man makes $1, I guess living takes 2. Living takes 2.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank y'all very much. I appreciate it.
Mr. Boone Holding, our guest tonight, y'all.
It's weird, right? As a songwriter, I've always thought, and I thought about it before I was really able to write songs like effectively at all. And I thought, how do people write songs? Do they play the guitar and get the melody first, or or the rhythm first, and then kind of come up with the melody, or do they have words in their head? And then as I started going and just started doing it, I realized, man, it's all different. Some of them you write in an hour, and some of them take a year or more. And it's kind of funny how it happens.
Yeah, I find that. I have some of them I've been approaching because we've been at home a lot, and they never adapted themselves to music, or I didn't find the music that I liked with them, and sometimes it's because they're more of a poem than a song. And
sure,
yourself, there's a difference probably since you started writing as more of a poet at an early age and writing poetry. So there's a little adaptation there, and
big time.
That part, I don't think there is a rule. I mean, if you want to get in a box and write a bunch of songs, you can probably put a formula together, and there are places that do that, but I agree with what you said. It's kind of a different approach per the song.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And
I like your line there in that last song. That's a great,
that one literally, man, I came inside one day and I wrote that song in 30 minutes, and it would just been with me since, and that was like maybe a year ago. And it's just one of those. The first song that I started tonight with, the Hippie Cowboy, I actually rewrote that song. I had written it completely and had all different verses, like you said, how you kind of reapproach some stuff. And a friend of mine named Paul Hilliard, I think he came on this show years ago, maybe even, possibly.
He did. it seems like I had a guest host because I was out of town, but Paul has been on, and I've done some other gigs with Paul.
Yeah, he's a hoot. But he told me, he was like, you should. I love that song, and I love and I love the message of it, and I love where you're going with it. But you should just try to sit back and tell the story. Tell the story. Don't beat around it. And so one day I was just at home, again, probably about the time I worked at K-Fan, and I took that song and just completely kind of rethought about it. And what came out of it was so much better, and I always really appreciated Paul. He's been a good friend of mine, and I really appreciated that thought. It's like when something's finished, it doesn't necessarily mean it's finished. I mean, sometimes you have to take a different perspective.
One of the best pieces of advice I got from a admired songwriter was, you can't write it all in one song. You got to let them finish. And sometimes you don't feel like you know the ending to a song, and that is the hardest part. Yeah. But, I've had them say, you know what, you could save some of this for another song.
Yeah, that's
Otherwise, you find yourself writing a book or
Thank you, Jerry.
short
Appreciate
story.
It.
Thank you, Jerry. But Boone, it's a blast having you on today, and I love talking shop about writing, and I know just getting to know you, you're totally in it, and I love it that you are. So I do want to interrupt a little bit and mention some sponsors that help keep this show rolling, and they're very important to us because they keep original music and musicians cruising down the road. And those sponsors are right here in Fredericksburg, Texas. One of them is Majesty Wine Tours. They'll drive you to drink. So when you're ready to come to Fredericksburg and tour the Texas Hill Country, call Majesty Wine Tours or get online and book your tour with them at MajestyWineTours.com. Also, the Texas Silver Rush. You can go over just across the street from Western Edge here on the west end of Main Street. Visit the Texas Silver Rush. They'll make you feel like the rock stars they designed for.
They make some great stuff, man.
They do. They do. The silver, a lot of it's silver and stone jewelry, and some of it has a Southwest, but they've also got pieces that are more contemporary. So they make and design most of that jewelry. So visit their shop. Joe Remney's a great guy, and Trish is in the shop too, so you can go visit them. And they keep us chugging along here. So that's the Texas Silver Rush. They're online at thetexassilverrush.com. Also, one of my favorites, just because of my personal vices, I love the Tobacco House. They're purveyors of cheap talk and fine tobacco. You can go find your favorite cigar or pipe tobacco, hang out at their bar and lounge, and enjoy your smoke. Look up the Tobacco House online at tabak-haus.com. That's the Tobacco House. They're across the street from the Nimitz Museum at 109 South Washington Street. So
they're going to have to start carrying that Man in Black cigar, man, the Kinky Friedman
cigar. Is that the
cigar?
Kinky Friedman cigar? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, Kinky doesn't live too far from us. He's down in Medina, and he's had a great music history and a novelist. I first came across him from his novels. I really like to read, and then I realized he had a big music history. So.
He's a cool one, man.
Yeah.
He's a cool one. Just
Pretty
a character.
Guy. I've had the fortune of running into him a couple times, and you never know what's going to come out of Kinky Friedman's mouth.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's nothing like a good cigar shop, tobacco house, and silver and jewelry, man. My wife is so into it that I have to buy some stuff from him, and I told him earlier that I'm going to have to do that because I just have no excuse up to this point.
Well, remind him you're a musician because Joe likes to treat the musicians good. So I won't say he'll give it away, but he'll treat you good.
He's a great guy, man. We'll definitely support him, and I personally appreciate all those sponsors for doing this, and yourself too. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Boone. Thanks for saying that. And I want to reach out to the folks that are listening right here on the YouTube channel. Please click subscribe. Click the bell so we can notify you when there's a new video out of The Outsider here with our guests like Boone Holding.
Do it. Come on.
Y'all share the love and keep us songwriters alive.
You're one click away from doing it. Come on.
Thanks, Boone. Well, folks, let's get Boone to play one more before we get off the radio hour, and we'll take a quick break and come back and play a bunch more music. Maybe less talk and more music. Who knows?
Who knows?
We don't make up rules around here, Boone.
Whatever happens, happens, right?
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do. I'll do one that I kind of wrote. I've written a couple of songs through the quarantine and through everything that's been going on in the world, and this one I actually started writing slightly before. My shirt says Braden Zink. That's my friend. He's a great songwriter, and I had a show with him up in Dripping Springs, over in Dripping Springs, right before the lockdown or the quarantine started, and I came home, I was inspired that night, and I came home and kind of had this in my head, and then over the next week or so, I finished this song, and it kind of fits the mold for the first hour here, so that's why I kind of wanted to add it in. I did want to say, too, to anybody who came in late, I have some flowers up here in the front of the stage, and those are for the taking. If you have a lady friend or a man friend or a sister, brother, aunt, uncle, grandma, mom, daughter, son, anything that would like a flower, these are from my garden here, and they're to inspire somebody onward. And I hope you'd take one. If not, that's fine. I'll take them home to my wife and tell her that I picked them for her. Wait, hope she didn't watch this. You can plant a seed. You can watch it grow. You can chill beneath some old tree, reaping what you sow from the hottest times of the summer, the change in the fall. I'm still not rich, what a bummer. No, I'm lucky I can be here at all. In the countryside, it's where I know I'll hang my hat and ease my soul through trying times and changing tides. Here I rest in the countryside. Well, you might see it rain. You may feel it pour. And when you feel that pain, someone feels it more. And then there's a little sunshine that'll bleed into your soul and into that grapevine there behind the wildflowers that all grow in the countryside. It's where I know I'll hang my hat and ease my soul through trying times and changing tides. Here I rest in the countryside. I'll tell you what, it feels really nice to see people out having a good time. It feels very nice to see this. Seeing people smiling. Here in the countryside, I swear I know I'll hang my hat and ease my soul through trying times and changing tides. Here I rest in the countryside. In the countryside. Might even go on one of the Majesty wine tours while I'm here. Oh, thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. Thank you for
That's
that.
Mr. Boone Holding, y'all. We
it.
appreciate our listeners right here at Western Edge Cellars and out on KFan 107.9 FM and TexasRebelRadio.com. Thanks for you YouTube watchers and listeners. Please subscribe to the channel.
Click. Y'all rock.
That's right. Boone,
Y'all rock.
where can we find you online, brother? I know you're on Facebook quite regularly.
I'm on Instagram, and actually I am starting just this week. I'm starting on my first EP.
Okay,
so,
good for
I'll
you.
be up on, I do have a podcast too that I haven't worked on in a good amount of time, but I'll do that randomly too, and that's
Where do
called
we find that?
More Than the Music Podcast, and it's on Spotify and iTunes and all the other stuff, and it's just kind of interviewing people, anybody, talking to them about music, life, culture, and I've done that. So, and you can also find it on my website, which is whosboone.com. So it's www.WHOS and then Boone, BOONE.com. And I'm on there. I'm somewhere to be found.
Yeah.
Just type in Boone Holding and my goofy face will come up somewhere.
And great songs. So, Boone, I'm glad you've been a guest here on the Outsider tonight, and I look forward to that EP. You really need to get those songs out there so we can take them home with us.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
It's coming, I promise.
Yeah. Well, I wish you continued safe travels and great blessings for you and your family, man.
Thank you.
And,
You as well, Stephen.
I want you to come back and update us on the garden.
All right.
Share some new songs next time, and
Anytime.
bring more flowers.
Anytime, man. A month later, I'd have double that.
You're gonna start something that you have to stick to now with the flower giveaway.
Good, man. As long as it
these
inspires.
young ladies right here are gonna come get a flower.
Take a whole container of them if you want. Take them.
Those look like perfect birthday flowers.
They are. They were grown just for you. Absolutely. See ya.
All right.
Happy
birthday. What's your name?
Thank y'all.
What's your name? Desiree. Happy birthday to you. Everybody say happy birthday, Desiree.
Happy birthday.
Come back soon.
Yeah. I love what you do, Stephen. No, this is great, man. This is a lot of fun, man.
I enjoy it, and I enjoy kind of making a catalog of what's going on around the hill country and other areas with the original music, So please help us share the love and come back soon.
I sure will, man. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks, that's the end of the interview hour. We'll come back and play more music. Probably less talk, but there's no guarantees. Thanks for hanging out here at Western Edge.
Thank y'all so much
Remember, folks, we're a small crowd, but we're mighty. Hey, folks, thanks for joining us online to watch the Outsider Songwriter Spotlight Series. That's right, we're taking this thing to a new level. Videos, every guest, every week. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the bell so you can be notified when we release new material. If you like the show and want to support us, you can tip through Venmo. There's a link below. Check out theoutsidersongwriter.com. That'll be up and coming soon. Thank you for your support over the last 4 years. The show's growing. We've had over 150 guests, and we promise to have a lot of new great songwriter guests. Please continue to share with your friends on your social media accounts. Come on into a show. Join us when you're in Fredericksburg. You can be a part of the live audience. Downtown under the dark of night, somewhere between shadow and light, over the edge of lost and found, you can hear neon, feel sound. Be well, folks. I know we're living in strange times. We'll get through this together. We'll see you soon.